I say it every week. Think, T.H.I.N.K. At every meeting we have, I mention the acronym THINK, T.H.I.N.K, in the first part of the prayer. I say, let our center be a sacred space filled with peace, love, service, and devotion. Guide us so that we focus on what is true, helpful, important, necessary, and kind. Why do I say these specific words every time? I'm going to let you know here. I thought that this question was worthy of a talk. So here we go. First up, what's an acronym? The definition from dictionary.com is an acronym is a word formed by abbreviating a phrase by combining certain letters of the words in the phrase, usually often the first initial of each word, into a single term. Acronyms are ubiquitous and can take on a life of their own. We often know what they mean, but can't remember the origin. They've just become so embedded into the language. Think NASA, ASCII, ARP, AARP, and the hundreds of acronyms used in social media. But why do we use acronyms? There seems to be an irresistible need to shorten names, doesn't there? I've noticed that this has picked up speed over the last 20 years. Burger King is now BK. How about KFC, NPR, CVS, BBD, DHL, and on and on? Acronyms can make your business name more memorable. These are good things. Help you stand out from your competitors and make your business name easier to say and to pronounce. What are the downsides, though? In an article for Inc., Jeff Steen notes, the more we use shortcuts in our communications, the less we are able to convey ideas in simple English. Look at this phrase. I got to move your faces again. This is an actual phrase from an email. Hey, John, just checking up on the GNS reports to the CXOs. Would love to showcase some of the rep dev strats in the upcoming drop that's due in a couple of weeks. Let me know if you can ship over some green stats as they would def help. See. Yes, that was actually an email. Worse yet, we lose the ability to explain foundational reasoning, mission, and vision clarity. I've even heard it said, what is the purpose of your X-Quarter project again? Using acronyms can have an exclusionary effect as well. He notes, when you communicate with acronyms and abbreviations, however, you become less accessible and certainly less helpful. And us versus them dichotomy is often created, feeding a reputation of inaccessibility. Bentley McBentelson, and that's an actual name, who focused on digital strategy and marketing innovation, wrote in LinkedIn.com, as professionals, we often use acronyms, initialisms, and speak. InSpeak's a term that Marshall McLuhan made up. And business code names in our organizations is verbal shorthand. We spend so much time using learned language of our industries, it is easy to forget that much of what we say sounds like gobbledygook. It's just not understandable to those who don't encounter it every day. And while this shorthand can be useful to quickly communicate ideas frequently discussed or to generate the shared language of a work culture, this is important. It can also be harmful as a form of exclusionary InSpeak used to identify those in the know from those who are outside of the know. And I've noticed this in my work with the Red Cross, with their common use of unexplained acronyms in written and spoken communication. This tact has often left me with a feeling of exclusion or ignorance. Poor me. You wouldn't believe the number of acronyms they have. That is why I always explain what each of these letters stand for in our prayer. We ask Divine Spirit to guide us so that we focus on what is true or thoughtful. I've seen both. Helpful, important, or inspiring. Again, I've seen both. Necessary and kind. Let's examine each of these concepts individually in the context of asking Divine Spirit to guide us. in our interactions with others prior to opening our mouths to offer prayer and guidance. First, let's consider the word think, not the acronym, the word think. In this context, the word implies that prior to expressing yourself verbally or in writing, you should consider what you are going to say with the power of enlightened intent. In conversation, we can respond without thought, especially if someone has triggered something in us and an automatic response is blurted out. Sometimes we have a response ready at the trigger and can't wait for that other person to stop speaking to respond. Has this gotten anyone else in trouble other than me? Me for sure. So stop and think. So if you are addressing someone offering enlightened advice or input, think about these things first. Is it true or thoughtful? If it's not true, don't say it. With respect to thoughtful, have you honestly thought through the process and ramifications of what you are going to say? Or are you shooting from the hip and just want to make your delivery? Also, is it considerate of the person you are addressing? Is it helpful? Is what you are going to say tremendously helpful to the person you are addressing? Or is it something you feel compelled to say to get it off your chest so that you feel better? Think about the outcome of what you're offering. Will it offer a path to clarity for the other person? Is it inspiring or important? Is what you're going to say simple conversation, or does it carry some weight? Does it come from a clean, pure intent? Is it uplifting? Does your response feel like divine spirit is working through you? Then say it. Is it necessary? Sometimes our advice may seem self-evident, but is it necessary to the other person? Will the outcome, all this just involves you taking yourself out of your own head and considering the ramifications of what you're going to say to someone you are going to help. Is it necessary? Sometimes our advice may seem self-evident, but is it necessary to the other person? Will the outcome of your advice or input help this person on their path, or will it muddle things further or cause unnecessary pain or sorrow? Is it kind? If you are coming from a place of love and enlightened intent, you will automatically be kind to them. If you find that you wish to condemn, judge, or berate them, you are not in the right place and you should not address them at this time. Wonderful thing about acronyms is that they're easy to remember. That's why I use this one. I use it in my tarot circle too, because we read for others, trying to uplift them and deliver helpful messages. I think is a great one for those of us who wish to be of enlightened service to humanity.